Hi there, I'm Melissa Nielsen. Welcome to our weekly video. I just want to talk to you today a little bit about temperament. Now, I know I talk about temperament a lot, and sometimes people are really excited when I talk about temperament and they want to hear more. And sometimes people are like, she's talking about temperament again. I don't get it. I don't know why I need to know about it. I already know my temperament. Listen, it isn't enough to know your temperament. It's not enough. That's not why I talk about it so much. I talk about it because when you understand yourself, then you can hone in on emotional regulation, which we could all use, right? Like, all of us could use it. Some of us just this much, some of us this much, some of us like. So when I say understand your temperament, it is about really understanding your core and that spiritual piece. So I firmly believe that our physical body is separate from our spiritual and soul body. And, we've come together in this space as one, where we've got a soul and a body. Some people believe that we chose to come here. Some people believe that we just showed up by accident. I absolutely believe that we chose to be here. We chose to have the experiences we have. We chose to be here right now. And that we have sacred contracts about those things. So with that, I really believe that our job here is to learn about ourselves. And I believe that every day there is a piece of our soul that is shouting for us to hear and understand. And we often just sort of ignore. So that's the piece that I'm talking about, that refining, that emotional regulation piece, that learning how to stop and ask yourself, what do I need right now? So people ask me all the time, Melissa, how do you're choleric, so that means you spout off, and I do at times. I'm like, I get angry, but it's usually short-lived. I'm a lot calmer than I was 5 years ago, 2 years ago even. And it's because of some tweaks that I've made in my personal, my refinement and my personal practice. And one of the biggest things that helps me, no joking, is that when I'm feeling that emotion well up, so it doesn't matter if it's anger, maybe for you it's sadness or overwhelm. Overwhelm is one I hear a lot, especially from my phlegmatic mamas and dads. Definitely dads too. Like that overwhelm piece that comes with being phlegmatic. And you might be a phlegmatic melancholic. That one has lots of overwhelm. Or melancholics often talk about anxiety and having a lot of anxiety when it comes to, just things that are going on in life. So when you feel that, I think it's really important to feel those emotions, like know when it's coming. So where do you feel it in your body? Do you feel it in your chest? Do you feel it in your throat? Do you feel it in your face? Your face get red and hot? Do you feel it in your stomach? Do you feel lightheaded? When you feel it, stop and put your left hand over your heart. Left hand, not right hand, your left hand. Put your left hand over your heart, close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and ask yourself, this is what I do. I say, Melissa, what do you need right now? Because you could feel the emotion coming, and it's exacerbated by something else that's going on usually. So often when I do that, I'm like, oh, I need to go use the potty. Oh, I need a snack. Oh, I just need to sit down and close my eyes for a minute. And I realize that if you have oodles of little people at your feet, you can't always do that right that second. However, you can teach them to do it with you. So you can say, you know what, mommy needs a time in. So let's all sit down on the sofa for just a minute or on the floor. And let's just close our eyes and hold hands. And I know you're going to get all squirrely, but just close your eyes and hold hands with me. And let's just be quiet for just a minute. And so when you teach your children to do that, I know that sounds like so hard because I've had moms message me and say, I just don't know how to do it. My kids are so busy. But try. That's how you do it. You start. And when you start, it builds. And it goes from like lasting for 30 seconds to lasting for 5 minutes, like, or longer. But you've got to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. So, especially if you're somebody who gets overwhelmed really easily, or who gets to that space where you just feel like the only way out is just to cry, which is, there's no failure in that, um, is to just stop. Know yourself. Stop yourself. Feel it coming soon, and like feel the distance enough that you can grab it before it goes over the edge. I think about like a something rolling over a cliff, and you're trying to catch it before it gets to the edge, so there's no way for it to be stopped, right? So you're trying to catch it, like, at first you're not going to catch it, you're just going to watch it roll over, but you're going to notice it. You're going to be like, oh, I let it roll over. But then you're going to get good at like catching it right at the edge. And then you'll get good at catching it 5 feet from the edge. And then you'll get good at like seeing it coming and go, nope, you know what? I don't need that emotion in my life today. I can course correct. And you'll stop and take that breath beforehand. So when I talk about understanding your temperament, this is why this piece of emotional regulation is so important. And in Waldorf terms, when we're talking about it in school or homeschooling, in the schools especially, there's some emphasis put on temperament, I definitely don't think there's enough. Like, I think if Steiner were here today, I think there'd be way more emphasis put on it, in a way to discuss emotional regulation and how we can nurture ourselves, and how we can help our children learn to nurture themselves, learn to understand, hey, this is just how I feel when I'm feeling like I just want to cry or throw up, or all the things. So everybody's feels a little bit different, and that combination of what your temperament is determines how you're going to react to things, and determines whether or not you burst out and get angry, or fall down in a heap and cry. So understanding your temperament, like truly understanding it, will help you with that emotional regulation, and it will help you teach your children how to have emotional regulation, which I think it's one thing to really heal ourselves, but when we heal ourselves and then use that to teach our children, you're healing generations, Mom and Dad. You're healing generations. Not just yourself, not just these children, but those that come after them. When you teach a child how to regulate their emotions, or how to truly stand in their own as, understanding and acknowledging and embracing their temperament and who they are and how they show up, you are teaching them to heal others. And that has a domino effect. You build that momentum, and that momentum is beautiful. But in order to do it, you have to start with yourself. So if you are struggling with understanding your temperament, I invite you to go back and listen to all of our videos on temperament. If you're listening on the podcast, just type in temperament into the search and see what comes up. I know my take on temperament is a little bit different than others. I pull a lot of human needs psychology from other training that I have into my coaching when I coach on temperament. And it's because it really all works together. And when you understand it, it's golden. It's golden. When you understand yourself and you know why you do something, or you know how you're going to react, or you feel it coming, you go, oh, you know what? I don't need to go there today. Then you're really like a powerhouse of awesome. Like, you can do so much when you know how you're showing up and you are choosing to show up consciously. That's really, really important. When you show up consciously, you're in a space of creation, because you've stopped allowing things to happen to you or like come at you, and you started deciding, hey, wait a minute, I can actually like do something else instead. So you become the space of creation when you can do that. So I'm going to invite you to really dive deep into your temperament. If you are challenged or struggling with it, I would take it to meditation and really ask in meditation, like, what pieces do I need to see? If you're one of our members, come to office hours. We can talk about it in office hours. Often I can decode somebody pretty fast and at least give you a road to start walking on, um, just by me asking you a few questions. I do not recommend taking an online temperament quiz. Most of the time, they're not right. They often get the choleric and the melancholic mixed up. And so we have a lot of melancholic moms and dads walking around thinking that they're choleric and they're really not. And so we really work with those pieces when we work to help you decode it. And somebody would say, well, why is it important to know if you're a choleric or a melancholic? Because they both can have, control issues. We can both have massive control issues. But it's important because our control issues are very different. We control from a very different place. And so watch some of our, or listen to some of our work on those two temperaments, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. So you want to be really careful about taking any online quizzes like that. I think that they're woefully inaccurate most of the time and don't give you the depth that you need. And a lot of people then take the quiz and they're like, okay, well, I'm done with that piece now. No, it's about really studying yourself and really like getting to know the soul, the spirit that's inside you, and how you can then use that to like show up differently and to your full potential every day. So I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will see you in our next video.